Welcome to Lab 21, configuring your router as an iOS DHCP server. This is a definite exam requirement, so you need to know how to configure your router. I've added a PC and a switch to this particular lab. You can do it actually router to router, and I'll show you how to use a router as a host at the end, because that's another part of the exam requirements. So a real simple configuration of the switch, which you've done many times by now. Just adding a simple VLAN and putting some interfaces into the VLAN. So let's go to the DHCP config now. Now, some of these commands won't work on Packet Tracer. It's just a limitation of the software, I'm afraid, which is a bit annoying because it's a CCNA tool, but some of the commands you need aren't actually working. But there you go. So IP DHCP pool, and then give the pool a name, whatever that pool is. Whatever name you use, you must refer to it in the correct case later on if you do refer to it in any other configuration. Then we configure the network. There's a couple of different ways of doing this, but you can only do it one way on Packet Tracer, so we'll use that way. So add the network address and then the mask. I'm using obviously a 24-bit mask here. DNS server, yes, this command will work by the looks of it. So this is the information that will be sent to our host. There's other parameters you can add. Unfortunately, the NetBIOS name server you can't use. Default router command you can. Can't add a domain name. If you've got access to a live router, then you add the domain name yourself. And you can't add a lease, unfortunately. I'll show you the command to type out anyway, which is days, hours and minutes are the values. A bit annoying again, but as long as you know the command, you can write it out, practice it. Obviously, lease is one of the primary tools of DHCP, so the address can be released again. Come out of DHCP config and then IP DHCP excluded dash address. We normally exclude the interface address that we have for our router or DHCP server and any other static IP addresses. Show IP DHCP binding. We won't have any yet because we haven't configured our host. Got a host on the end of the network here. All you need to do is set it up to obtain an IP address via DHCP. Here's how you do it in Packet Tracer. You just click on DHCP, and it's similar for Windows if you're using a Windows PC. I'll just issue the ipconfig all command to see if it's been issued and what parameters have been allocated. ipconfig all, just maximise this screen, and you can see it's been allocated an IP address It's got the DNS server, default gateways, so it's got all the correct information that we need. Show IP DHCP binding, and we can see the first available address after the excluded address has been allocated to our host. Now what I'm going to do is just add a router, because it's in the exam requirements, add it to the switch and put it in the correct VLAN, and then I'll ask the router interface to obtain its address via DHCP. So all you need is to go whatever interface you want to use with DHCP, IP address, and instead of writing it out, you just write DHCP and press enter. Just a little heads up that this process does take a little while. It can take around a minute. I've noticed this on live equipment also. You've sort of added the command and you're waiting. On a live equipment, I also see a message come up on the router usually. DHCP allocated a message. So I'm just looking to see if it's been allocated by the router, DHCP server router. Not yet. I just did a quick check to make sure I hadn't missed off the switch port, the VLAN, but that's there. So again, this is just down to the time delay. And there we go. Gone onto the server router. I can see that the address has been allocated. And then show IP interface brief on our router. That's the end of the lab. Thanks for watching.